LeeAnn caught me picking my nose and eating it one time.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, we're past the honeymoon phase.
How often are you seeing this?
It's pretty often. He goes in phases. It comes and goes. Like, he'll get into a phase where he's doing it all the time. And I'll go, fucking Bert, you're going to be in a meeting and not realize you're picking your nose and eating boogers with, like, the head of NBC. You have to stop doing this.
100%. Cheers.
This episode of Two Bears, One Cave is brought to you by ShipStation. The holidays are right around the corner, and this year we know that people will be buying more stuff online than ever before. If you're an e-commerce seller, are you ready to meet the demands of a record-breaking online shopping season? Be ready with ShipStation. When you're selling online, getting a massive amount of orders out quickly can be tough. How do you get track of who gets what? Which carrier should you use? Are you getting the best rates? You can get it all resolved at ShipStation.com. You go to ShipStation that helps online sellers get orders out quickly, save money on shipping costs, and keep customers happy no matter where you're selling. Amazon, Etsy, your own website. ShipStation brings all your orders into one simple interface. And right now, Two Bears, One Cave listeners can try ShipStation free for 60 days when you use our offer code CAVE. Make sure your business is ready to meet the demands of a massive online shopping season. Get started at ShipStation.com today. Click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in CAVE. That's ShipStation.com. Enter our offer code CAVE, C-A-V-E, ShipStation.com. Make ship happen. This episode is also brought to you by Saatva, S-A-A-T-V-A. Head on over to saatva.com/theshit. That's right. The URL is saatva.com/theshit. You get $225 off your purchase of any mattress. They make incredible mattresses. I've had them all. Currently, I'm sleeping on the Solaire. When I slept on it and it sat up for me, I called the VP of marketing and I said, this thing's the shit. And he said, we'll make it the URL. And I was like, all right. So you guys, let me tell you, you can do zero gravity setting. It can vibrate you to sleep like you're a child. You can do anything. It's an incredible, incredible mattress. Great environmentally friendly products, incredible customer service. Get a Saatva, get a luxury firm, get a Lumen Leaf memory foam, or get the Solaire. It's my personal and current favorite. Head to Saatva, saatva.com/theshit. Look, it doesn't matter where they're born. They're just people, okay? Hey, guys, welcome to another episode, Two Bears, One Cave. I'm really excited to actually get to speak this episode because my usual co-host is gone, and I have the most lovely replacement, his beautiful wife, LeeAnn, the wife of the party.
The wife of the party.
Everyone's listen. There's like a better morale here.
Without Bert?
Yeah, of course.
You know, as I've always said, he casts a wide wake.
Yep, you're so right. You're so right. But we should point out something. The two of us, I would say, the two of us really, on different levels, obviously, love him and understand him to a degree that many people don't. Because I do adore Bert. I love him.
Same here.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it makes him feel bad because I'm always talking about the negative.
Yeah.
Because there's so much of it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean there's not almost an equal amount of positive.
Almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's a great person.
He is. He's a sweet guy. And like I said, like, there's a certain, with a bunch of people, there's certain people where you go, certain people really click with other people, right? And sometimes you meet those people, like a certain person, and you'll be like, man, something just doesn't work for me here. And you realize that somebody else really understands them.
Right, yes.
I feel like we have a similar, obviously it's your spouse, but it's, one of my best friends. And I feel a deep connection with him.
It's mutual.
Yeah.
He loves you to pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, every piece and part of you and push. But,
yeah,
it's different when you have a friend. Bert's friends with a lot of women.
Yep.
He just, I guess, grew up with two sisters.
Sure.
He's very chick friendly in that way, even though a lot of his rhetoric doesn't sound like it is.
Sure doesn't.
It doesn't, but at his core,
yes.
I mean, you know how many emails I get from Two Bear, One Cave episodes that it's like, why do you let him talk about banging all these hot chicks possibilities on the road? And I'm like, seriously?
First of all, can you imagine trying to stop that? that conversation.
He's terrified of disease.
Yeah.
So all of it is just complete bullshit.
Yeah.
So I don't care.
Yeah.
He ain't going nowhere.
No.
Could you imagine what he would do without me?
Well, we're going to get into that.
You would. I would say to you, "You're welcome," because he'd probably move to your house.
Yeah. What would you do? I mean, what do you think he would do without you?
Well, you know, when I had that fall recently, I had this fall and I ended up in the hospital.
So will you tell people what happened though?
Yeah, I got up. I was walking to let the cat out, really innocently. I mean, I was fully awake. I thought, and got almost to the door, and I just thought to myself, "Wow, my head is moving faster than my feet," and then I hit the floor. Like I hit the floor with my face, and I'm so dumb because I hit the floor. I didn't want to wake my kids up. Bert was obviously out of town, and I cleaned myself up. I knew my chin needed stitches because I couldn't get it really to stop bleeding. It was kind of open. Yeah. So I just like bandaged it back together. I was like, 9 a.m. meeting with the contractor. Gotta go. Put my mask on. Did my meeting with the contractor. 10 a.m. I got to work out with my trainer. Worked out at 10 a.m. And my friend Sandy, who works out with me, was like, "What's going on? Something's wrong." And I was like, "Yeah, I fell, busted my mouth open." I kind of passed out while I was walking, and she was like, "Hold on, you need to go to the hospital." I was like, "No."
Wait, I didn't realize you did all this before you went to the hospital.
Oh yeah. I fell at 6, and I left for the hospital at 1 because I was like, I had to take the dog to the vet. I put my chin back together. It's gonna be okay. I just got to get from A to B, and I had been on this kind of I got to get from A to B train for many months. So I think what really happened is, you know, when you go, and then you go on vacation and you get really sick because you finally slowed down.
You finally slowed down, yeah.
I think that's what happened.
Sure.
Is that we had been going for so long.
So much stuff going on.
Yes, and you know, I have a whole big platter of stuff that Bert doesn't even know exists, and then I deal with the platter of Bert. So I have
a big platter.
It's lots of platters. It's a lot of juggling. So I think once Bert went back on the road, kids went back to school.
What kind of relief do you feel when he goes on the road?
You know what stresses me out the most about Bert when he's home is that he is really messy. And so I spend my day kicking size 13 shoes to the side just to walk through my house all day long, and the dishes never stop. And especially in COVID, he was like no cleaning person. As much as I didn't enjoy my cleaning person in the first place, I haven't had one since March. So because he doesn't want anyone in the house.
Right.
So that stresses me out.
Yeah.
Just the extreme. It was so bad that my cleaning lady would show up and go, "Bert's not home this week."
She could just tell.
It's from the front door. Like you can open the front door and go, "Okay, he's out of town."
Wow.
It's that different. That's the one thing that really, when he leaves, I'll spend like half a day getting my shit in order, and then I'm like, oh.
And then you have that peace or that cleanliness for the time that he's gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except for COVID.
Now, you just had a birthday?
I did.
Yeah. Bert made mention of it, clip number 1.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You can see what this looks like here.
Is he calling me an old hag?
Get like an old bitch like I got.
Stupid
She no divorce. She knows her place. She's 50. She does what she needs to do.
He's
Turned
so
50
full
in
of
August.
shit.
I just told her, I said, you know what? You just ride along.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in the hospital, right? Getting myself checked out.
Yeah.
He's calling my friend Sandy, and he's going, "What am I going to do without her? What am I going to do without her? I mean, what if she dies, Sandy? What if she has a brain tumor, Sandy? That's it. Me and my kids are moving into your house. You have 2 bedrooms extra. I'm moving into your house. You got me. I'm yours." I mean, like, and Sandy was like, first of all,
no.
No. Second of all, she's going to be fine. This is fine. He wasn't doing that with me. He was staying very calm with me.
With you.
But with Sandy, he was coming, like, crying.
Really?
He was coming totally undone.
Wow.
And Sandy was like, "Just so you know, nothing can ever happen to you because he's not living with me."
Well, I do think he would fall apart completely without
I do
you.
too. Yeah, I do too.
You really hold it together for him.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Oh God, what now? The old bitch holds it all together.
The old bitch holds it together. Wondering if you ever really keep track, because when he's on the road, we discussed this on the phone recently about how it can really fall off the rails on the road for him.
Yeah.
Like, what do you like? I think this recaps a daily intake of food.
Oh Lord.
I think so.
So I made the burritos, and then went back in bed and went on my phone and scrolled. LeeAnn came home and was like, "What are you having for lunch?" And I was like, "I haven't eaten yet." So we had Chinese food for lunch. So I had mushu pork burrito, and then I think I didn't eat again until dinner.
What was dinner?
Pizza, a homemade pizza.
And what kind of pizza is that?
One was with onions and mushrooms, one was with pepperoni, one was with bacon, and one was with cheese.
What do you mean? How many pizzas did you have?
They had 4 pizzas, and I ate one of everything. And French fries.
And French fries.
And beers.
And
beers, probably
'cause you
3
said-
beers for Sam Adams beers, a glass of
But he didn't eat
Buffalo
anything in
Trace,
between.
a
Right.
bottle of wine, and another glass of Buffalo Trace.
So 3 beers, 2 Buffalo Traces, and a bottle of wine.
2 Buffalo Traces and a bottle of wine.
And then what about Kool-Aid yesterday? You didn't have any Kool-Aid?
Oh, okay.
How much Kool-Aid did you have?
Probably 2 of these.
A gallon of Kool-Aid.
Yeah, in the sauna.
Is it bad that I know exactly the day he's talking about?
No.
I know exactly
I knew
the
you
day.
would.
I know exactly the day he's talking about.
That's so much.
It's every day, dude. Every fucking day.
Actually, hearing the intake actually makes me go, well, he's really actually holding it together much better than I realize if he lived like a semi health conscious from an intake standpoint, he would look amazing.
He'd be 200 pounds.
Yeah.
He would.
I know.
He always, this is his cycle. I'm going to do it right today. I'm eating lean protein and vegetables all day. That's what I'm doing. Skips breakfast. By lunch, he's ridiculously hungry. He'll scramble like 5 eggs and eat 5 eggs and like spinach. 4 o'clock, wheels come off.
That's
pizza. And then at the end of the night, he'll go, I just don't understand why I can't lose weight. And I'll go, pizza.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science.
Right.
Why don't you start your day with
you did drop squat.
breakfast? I do drop squat, baby.
Yeah, I know. He told me about it.
I love it.
Drop squat, you lost weight, right? How much weight did you lose?
22 pounds.
22 pounds.
Shut up.
And that's, you're working out, and obviously you're eating healthy, right?
But really, the eating healthy, this is what my trainer said, and I think it's proof in me that it worked. He said I had dieted so improperly that my metabolism had just about pretty much gave up.
Right.
So he was like, what you have to do is eat very strictly for a period of time and work out like I'm telling you to, and it will recalibrate your metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it worked because I did what he said, and all he had me eat was lean protein and green vegetables. They didn't have to be leafy, just dark green vegetables, and apples and strawberries and almonds.
How could he do this? How could he do?
Oh, well, he could.
You think he could?
Would is the problem. Would he do this?
Would he do it?
No.
Just because isn't it like the impulse thing with him? He's like, fuck
Yes.
it. Like, let's just do it.
That applies to everything, to alcohol, to food, to sex, to being on the road and not being able to get off the road.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about impulse control and self-regulation problems, all of it.
But is it a being present thing,
What do you mean?
Well, like, okay, in clip number 5 here, he talks about being, I'll show you what I mean. Like, maybe there's some tie-in to what we're talking about.
Okay.
Do you ever have sex and like read their rhythms and then go like, oh, okay, all right, like let's go at this pace. This is what I'm hearing you. I'm listening to you.
Sure.
Like, oh, that was a heavy breath.
You're being present. Yeah.
Being present. I was never present.
Yeah.
Ever. I was just like, sex is sex. I'll do my part. You do your part, and then see if it hits.
Yeah.
And when we were younger, it hit a lot at the same time. But then there was this period after she had kids where it just was like, get it over. You do you, and then let's get it over with and go to Target,
Yeah.
And I think that's where it was. And the other day I was like, oh, I just started reading your body. And I said this to her yesterday, actually, Tom. Yesterday I said, it's so funny. I'm just starting to read your body really good. And she's turning 50. So like, part of me is like, I don't have the time to put in with another woman.
Feels good, right?
That was my 50th birthday present.
Yeah,
Thank
was
you,
it?
Bert.
Yeah. He's not leaving.
Oh, he's not going anywhere.
No.
I'm not concerned with that at all.
But he considered leaving if he were to get hair transplants, he said. He did. He swore. He said that it might change his whole game.
Really?
Yeah.
he's so stupid. That guy is really...
His hair looks fucking awesome.
Are you going to go do it?
I was thinking.
Dude, you should do it.
I was thinking about that and getting another wife. I was like, I could really...
He does talk about that a lot, doesn't he?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, that's why people email me and are like, why do you put up with that shit?
Well, because he talked about it so much that now sometimes I'll lead with it, Like, what
how about that new wife?
Yeah. He'll be like, yeah. How long has he been doing? Because I swear, when I used to do gigs with Bert, we would drive, everywhere, but especially out in the Brea area, you know? And he used to, we would drive and he would go, I'm like, you all right? And he was like, what? I go, you keep clearing your throat like every fucking 30 seconds. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. And then he said he went to a doctor and told him, and they were like, yeah, you have like acid reflux or some shit. I don't know what it was. And he goes, yeah, it was because you pointed out that I was doing this noise. Now he has new noises that have started. I mean, he didn't make this noise 10 years ago, especially like this horse calling noise.
What?
That he does it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like... A little...
What's with the horse noise? Where'd he get that from?
It's called lazy. He's not using his words. He's lazy.
Yeah.
Same thing he does on stage when he starts cursing too much, and then he asks me to go to a show, and I go, "You're being fucking lazy. Use your words."
And what does he say to that?
I hate it when you say that.
Yeah.
Because you're always right.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. And then you'll have to put words where he says fuck.
Yeah.
And you're like, see, it's much better.
Wow. So you give him like that type of note.
Yeah.
And he listens.
Yeah, he does listen.
Yeah.
He does listen to me quite a bit, as much as he gives people the impression that he doesn't.
Yeah, I believe that.
He does.
He values your opinion a lot.
He does. And I value his. He's a really smart guy.
That's the other thing I wanted to talk about today.
Yeah.
He's not as stupid as a lot of people think he is.
No. Do you know in high school he was a C/D student, but he tested in the top 20th percent nationally.
Really?
Nationally. That's pretty big.
Yeah?
He's a real smart guy, and not just like that kind of smart. He's really smart about his business. He's actually a really smart parent. His execution on parenting could use a little work.
Wait, tell us about this.
You know, he's very agenda-driven parent, and he's one of those that talks to our kids like this. I need to have a conversation with you. And I'll look at him and go, the patriarchy is talking. Everybody listen up. And he gets so mad. Stop calling me the patriarchy. I'm not the patriarchy, but I do make all the money. So here's what I'm going to say. And I'm like, that's the patriarchy. Guess who made all the money about 15 years ago? Wasn't you? It was me.
Yeah.
But we weren't living in a matriarchy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, his parenting is very, I am Lord, you will listen.
And how do they respond to that?
They completely ignore it.
Yeah.
And that makes him really angry.
It does.
Yes, because then he's the king who's trying to get the subjects to comply, and the subjects are going, not if you treat me like that. And then he goes, but I'm talking.
Right. And you have like smart, opinionated girls who probably push back on a lot of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do, especially Georgia.
Oh, I so want this to be a reality show.
You know, I came up with this great show idea for Georgia, and she won't do it. It's called Nothing's Burning, where she cooks things and doesn't burn anything and does it perfectly. She won't do it.
Why not?
I don't know. I was like, you could get like microwavable mac and cheese and like jazz it up.
Do they butt heads a lot? He and her?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
About everything?
No, not about everything. But she just won't let him be the patriarchy with her. She won't let him. She'll be like, you're talking to me in a way that I'm not going to respond. And he's like, what? Who talks to their father that way? And she's like, well, if you talk to me in a way that I can respond, then okay.
Oh my God, I'm so not looking forward to this shit. Because like we're in such different places with children.
Yes.
I was watching some of I think it was your podcast, where you had both girls on. And there was this clip where, just listening to them talk about when people know who their father is and how it affects. I was like, God damn it, this is like heavy stuff. I mean,
But it's different for you because your kids you will have always been famous. My kids were not. Bert had no notoriety until they were quite old.
Right.
So we went from this place where, George's dad is a comedian. People in the neighborhood are like, unless you're Chris Rock, they don't know who you are.
Right.
So he really was just the dad that does some artsy thing.
Yeah, does an artsy thing, right.
And then he became someone that was recognizable. So they had this kind of transition.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
So, but your kids won't have that. So they've always been in that kind of...
Maybe it'll be a different transition.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe it'll be like, hey, wasn't your dad like a comedian or something? And they'll be like, yeah,
No,
it was a long time ago.
Like, no, that's not true.
It was before we all had to wear masks everywhere.
Right,
so,
right. Before touring stopped entirely.
Oh, my God.
But
That's still like a very, I watch that and you connect, I think, with their emotion on that. When she's like, I just don't want, like, once they're hanging out, like she's hanging out with people, and once somebody goes like, "Oh, that's you're Bert's kid, right?"
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah.
Like it changes the whole dynamic of the hangout with somebody.
It does, and I think for Isla, it automatically makes her go, "You only know me as who my dad says I am."
Right.
You already think you know who I am, so it doesn't give her the opportunity for someone to really just learn who she is. I think actually Isla's such a deep kid that I think that is how she interprets it. I think it makes Georgia uncomfortable in a different way where she goes to like, oh, you're just being shallow. But it affects Isla in a much deeper way.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Oh, it affects Isla in a deeper way.
It does. It affects her in a deeper way. It shuts her down. Whereas for Georgia, it doesn't shut her down.
And is there any way can the only thing change from that just your perspective on it? Or like, because you can't really avoid it sounds like, right?
Can't really avoid it. I guess a perspective is the only thing that can change. I keep trying to parent it and talk to her about it and say, even if your dad's not famous, most people only end up having 2 or 3 really good friends.
Yeah.
And those friends will be your friends no matter who your parents are.
That's very true.
So if you remove that one thing, you're just like everybody else. You're just making 1 or 2 really good friends.
Which is actually the best way.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, I look back on life and it's like I had 1 or like 2 people in pretty much every city that I lived in. And even now when I look back on college, I'm still friends, like good friends with like 2-3 people.
Exactly.
High school, like 2 people.
Yeah.
That's it. This episode is brought to you by Hims. Look how bald I am. I wish I had discovered Hims 10 years ago, when it was on my way to being bald and not huge gaping holes on my head that are, they're not attractive. Doesn't look good. You don't have to look like me. You can be one of the guys that did something about it. Not like 66% of men who start to lose their hair by age 35. Check. Yeah. Once you started notice you're thinning, it can be too late, and it is. So go to 4hims.com, the one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and sexual wellness for men. It's time to write a new chapter, one in which you have hair. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. Prescription solutions backed by science. No awkward in-person doctor's visits or long pharmacy lines. Just consult online, and if you are found to be accepted and approved, you can have discreet, confidential things sent right to your door. Today, Hims is giving you their best offer yet. If you're not happy with your results after 90 days, Hims will give you a full refund. And right now, our listeners can get their first visit absolutely free. Go to 4hims.com/bears. That's 4hims.com/bears. Full refund of price paid available for first 90-day supply. Refund requests must be between 90 and 180 days after product shipment delivered. Prescription products require an online consultation with a medical professional who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Remember, that's 4hims.com/bears. Did you know that Policygenius saves, on average, their home and auto customers $1,127 a year by shopping top-rated insurers in one place? If you think that is a weirdly specific amount, you are correct, but they crunch the numbers, and that's just what it is. Policygenius does what they do best. Their insurance marketplace makes it easy to compare rates from the top home and auto insurance companies to find you the best price. And here's how it works. You go to policygenius.com, you answer a few quick questions about yourself and your property, and after that, they do all the work. That is by far the best part of any service you can get anywhere. Somebody else is going to take care of all the heavy lifting. They'll get you switched over. They know what they're doing. So if you're a homeowner, head to Policygenius.com right now to get started. They save their home and auto insurance customers an average of $1,127 a year. Who knows what weirdly specific amount of money they could save you?
You know something Bert and I talk about a lot? You and I are very similar in a lot of ways. And he and Push are very similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll do something and he'll go, God, Tom just did the same thing. I just don't know why you guys think like that. And I'm like, because we're practical, pragmatic thinkers, dude. And loose cannon McGee over here needs a practical, pragmatic thinker in his life, or he would be off in the stratosphere.
Of course, we're the reasonable ones in our homes.
Yeah.
What's up?
Big team.
So, now what is the grossest thing that you? Because there's a lot of gross shit. Some of which I learned even as recently as like a month ago. Like there's some.
What did you learn a month ago?
Well, there's a few things.
Okay, that he wipes his ass and smells it.
Well,
we already went over that. We went over that, and
I got to tell you that on the phone, and I believe that was when you learned about it.
Yeah, it was when I learned about it.
Did you actually?
So I want to know what else you learned that I don't know about.
Oh, that's coming up.
Okay.
Because I'd learned stuff like when people don't know, you guys were like when I first started working clubs, like when I met Bert was a legit feature act. For people that are fans of comedy, you know, it's kind of an industry term for the middle act, because typically we would work clubs in a 3-man show format. MC, like the host of the show, features the middle, and the headliner.
Right.
Bert was a legit middle act, and I was a legit MC. Like we were both at that place in our career. So I got to see the transition happen, meaning also that we were like making no fucking money. No money. And we would go over to your guys' house a lot and eat. I mean, I remember being a newborn, but I remember going to your house and her being like 2. Yeah. And shitting on the roof.
And naked.
Yeah.
Just always naked.
And we would do dinner, and Bert would always cook dinner.
Yeah, he's an amazing
elaborate cook. And I mean, he's chopping and dicing things up, and really doing elaborate meals.
Yeah, he's an excellent cook.
He's a great cook, and spending that time there, and then getting to know him, right? Because I'm getting to know him, getting to know your family at the same time, and then I don't know, just one time, we're dudes, so there's like dude shit, right? Burping and farting, and then when I hear this thing about like clipping nails, right? And I'm and then he's like clips his nails and he tapes them under the coffee table, and I was like, wait, what? And then I asked him, I was like, do you really do that? He's like, yeah. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Yeah, like this even remotely normal? No, I've never even heard of something like that. Like, why would you do that? He's like, I don't know, like, where else am I going to put him? I'm like, what do you mean? Where else
in the garbage?
Yeah.
What fascinates me about his brain is it takes, I don't know why his brain thinks, walking to the desk, getting a piece of Scotch tape, picking up the nails and taping it under is more time efficient than just putting him in the fucking garbage.
But it has to be there, right? He can't not do that?
No, he's gotten better. Now the patriarchy demands that someone cut his nails for him.
What?
So, but no one will.
Oh.
And so he just lays in the recliner and complains. So I don't know if some of his road guys cut his toenails, but none of the women in his house do.
And he literally asks you guys, come on.
100%. You cut the girl's toenails, why don't you cut mine? She's 4. Because she can't cut her own, but you can. But he doesn't want to bend over, and it's so uncomfortable. And I have this one nail, I need some help. And I'm like, I'm not doing it, dude.
Wow.
Go get a pedicure.
Wow. This is amazing.
But that's not gross. But
that's not gross.
It's just the patriarchy.
That's true. Do you want to hear about the first time he did the self-wiping, the barehanded technique?
Sure.
Okay, let's pull up
I'm afraid, but sure.
The first wipe. The hand wipe. I think it's, here we go. Out of nowhere, you dropped that you've been wiping your ass barehanded with your finger.
Yeah.
How did that start?
Well, it started with the fact that I've been washing my hands a lot lately.
You have been?
Yeah, and so because of on that tour, I wash my hands nonstop, sanitize nonstop. My hands have never been so clean.
I'm with you there.
Normally, I'm not a hand washer at all. Like, I've never really been a hand washer at all.
Yeah.
Ever since coronavirus, I'm washing my hands a lot.
Okay.
So I'm a little more cool doing dirty shit with my hands. So I just turn on the sink and I grab the thing and I go down and it's not that dirty. And I just give it a little scrub, like I'm trying to get into a girl's asshole. Do you remember that move where you're like, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Yeah. You're just toying with the outside a little bit. Yeah.
I'm just surveying the property.
Right.
And then I kind of wipe and I look at my finger and there's nothing, right?
Nothing?
There's nothing. So then guess what I did next?
I hope you washed that hand.
No, not immediately.
What'd you do? Sniff it. You smelled it.
I smelled it.
How did it smell?
It smelled like an asshole. So turn this thing on and then realize I have to wash my hand by itself.
Yeah.
So I go, all right.
Is there soap or just water?
There's soap.
Okay.
So I'm by the way, now I'm hurting my back reaching for the soap.
Okay.
So I don't even really soap up. I just go back in, scrub again, then grab water, splash water scrub. It's almost like a help of a bidet. Like if a bidet had a fingerment, if a bidet had like a finger attachment, it would really fucking help out. So I clean. I then drip dry, sit there for a second. I wrap up, go in, wash both hands aggressively. And then I just kind of sit there with it, like walk around. I'm like, I feel good. So then I shit again. So I go, and the second I go down, I feel what could only be called the top of a Frappuccino, like the whipping of a Frappuccino down there. And I'm like,
oh, that's disgusting.
this is more than I planned on.
Yeah.
Ugh. That's so gross.
That's so gross, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty gross. I think I'm actually pretty gross. But he so trumps me that I feel like a fucking nun when I'm talking to him sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be like, oh, I'm not even in this category.
Okay, so in order for me to be able to live with him going forward, here's what I think happens in his brain.
Yeah.
I think he is curious, like the age of your children curious.
Right, yeah.
About
childlike.
life.
Yeah.
Yes, he has this childlike curiosity everywhere. On my wedding day, one of my closest friends who had never met him before came up to me and said, he's awesome. He's really amazing. But can I give you one piece of advice? I said, yes. He said, he will always be a child. So if you can just know that he's always going to be a child, you'll be fine. You'll be really happily married.
Yeah, right. Because you could easily be, because that's why it's all about perspective, right?
Yes.
You could easily be the person who's like, hey, dude, you got to knock all this shit off, right?
Yeah.
And then what would happen was that you would be frustrated and probably angry all the time. And then he would feel like somebody's attacking him and go into his shell and feel horrible. Like, it just wouldn't. So it's got to be the perspective.
Yeah, it's the perspective. So when I see that.
How did your friend know this? Just right away put it together?
He's a healer and a Reiki master.
Okay.
So he had a lot of that intuition.
Yeah.
He really is one of those people that just looks at you and
just
like
picked up
I
on
walked in the room with him the first time I ever saw him.
Yeah.
He goes, ooh, you have some issues with your mom.
Really?
And I went, who are you? And where do I sign up?
Yeah.
Yes, he's one of those people. So.
Yeah, some people don't realize too. Like, there's a childlike thing. Bert is also like, as a comedian. I've spent a lot of time with a lot of comedians. He's kind of like the most desirable type of comedian to be around, which is a comedian that really does live to have fun and make you laugh and make moments funny. So it's like, whether you're just going to lunch, like, and you sit down, he'll be like, hey, should I, he'll just immediately think of something to do that's funny in the moment, even if it's just for you guys. It is just for you guys, you know? It's just like, it's a funny, but it's kind of childlike in a way, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
it's
a lot
play.
of us, it's play. Yeah, a lot of people are more serious, even comedians. You can hang out with comedians that you'll never know they're a comedian, know? But like with Bert, you'll know. Yeah. You won't be like, oh, really? You're a comedian? Yeah. Like, it's obvious,
Yeah, so part of that piece that I choose to resonate with, but not the part where I go, that's the most disgusting, oh my God, bro, whatever. That's not what it does that for me a little bit, but really my takeaway is, this is the curiosity I see every day. He is really curious about really odd stuff.
Even his asshole.
Yep. And even what happens if I tape my toenails and put it under here? What's that mean? What happens now?
Or clip number 10. Maybe clip number 10 is something that you'd be curious about.
I got to start watching your show.
LeeAnn caught me picking my nose and eating it one time.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
what
the fuck are you doing? And I was like, we're past the honeymoon phase.
Oh.
Yeah. It was like, it wasn't like disgusting. It was
Do you do that regularly?
It is disgusting, actually.
You eat your bugs?
Not all the time, but I do a lot more than I think you'd be comfortable with in bed next to me.
Yeah.
I really almost threw up there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
For some reason, there's
bad.
certain triggers for like nausea or whatever. I've seen someone, I've seen a lot of gross things, but I've seen someone eat their booger and I've just been like I almost throw up. Yeah, I almost throw up at it. How often are you seeing this?
It's pretty often. He goes in phases. It comes and goes. Like he'll get into a phase where he's doing it all the time. And I'll go, fucking Bert, you're going to be in a meeting and not realize you're picking your nose and eating boogers with like the head of NBC. You have to stop doing this. And then he'll stop for a while. And I think he goes out on the road.
It's just the eating it part.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, everyone picks.
Everybody picks. That's natural.
But
he thinks, well, what are you going to do with it?
You fucking flick it or something,
on
man.
This right here,
I don't know.
And he's like, that's gross. I just take care of it. And then
I might get sick.
It's, sometimes I scratch my own head at what I accept from this guy. But there's clearly a lot of positive because I'm a pretty great girl, I got my shit together for the most part. But yeah, I don't enjoy that part of his personality. But again, I chalk it up to that childlike human being. Children pick their nose and eat their boogers.
And I feel like the only way to like when he goes like, well, what am I supposed to do with it? You literally got to get like Kleenex, put it on the nightstand next to him.
It wouldn't
Maybe
matter.
a trash can. Like, just put it right there.
It wouldn't matter.
Why would it not work there?
Because he just...
I don't want to go there. I don't want to grab that tissue.
He's a really complicated guy. He has two sides to him. He's an extreme rule follower in that he never drinks and drives.
Yeah,
ever.
that's true.
He never does that. He never breaks a law. He is always on time for any kind of job.
Yep.
If there's some problem, he lets people know with I'm going to be on time. And then the other side of him is he never returns an email.
Right.
He is non-compliant. So he's like
so
super
true.
compliant and completely non-compliant.
I'll spend like 3 days in a row spending 4 hours a day with him.
Yeah.
The fourth day, you're just like meaning like you're hanging out intensely.
Yeah.
The fourth day, I'll be like, hey, so when do you want to do that thing?
Crickets.
And then I'll be like, all right, whatever. Next day, hey man, so are we doing it Friday?
Nothing. Yeah.
And then like the third day, I'm like, hey, and then I'll call him. It'll go to voicemail, which is full. Mm-hmm.
And he's out of the country.
Yeah, out of the country. And so then I finally, I'll finally just text you.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you with Bert? And you're like, yeah.
Welcome.
Like, can you tell him to fucking answer me?
Yeah. Welcome to my world.
So that is your world, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
That's
manager
terrible.
texts me, business manager, agent, both 4 agents will be like, hey, I'm trying to get this answer from Bert. I'm on every single business text and email.
Let's call him right now.
For that reason. And I have to tell you something. It is part of the reason that I've collapsed and busted my face because I'm running our whole household.
It's
and then
too
I
much.
have to go, hey, dude, have you read that email about that thing that's kind of important?
Do you think he'll answer right now when I call him?
I don't know. He has a really busy day today.
Okay, well, let's just see.
He may be in meetings.
How about if he answers, you talk. Okay. You talk.
But what do you want me to say?
Just be like, no, we'll go somewhere. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's see if he answers.
I'm too honest. He may be in a meeting. He has a really busy day today. Yeah. So if he doesn't answer, I'm not surprised. He always answers my call. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm out of
I'm out of the country.
I'm out of the country.
He hasn't been out of the country in years.
I remember
Whatever.
when that voicemail was put on.
So Travel Channel. It was
Yeah,
100 years ago.
Yeah. And I remember him coming back from a trip and being like, hey, why don't you change that now?
No,
And he was like-
I've asked him to change it. His kids have asked him. It's not happening.
He's like, no, I like it.
No, I'm the only person he responds to. His parents text me, his sisters, everybody, because he does that to everybody. So.
And what is that? You think it's just like not wanting to deal with stuff?
I think, I think he has a really low threshold for almost everything.
My mom has this thing where, like, if you're hanging out, and this is, by the way, it's not her being older. This is when I was a kid. Like, if you go, I think we used to have house phones, obviously, right? So phone would ring at home, like, hello? Oh, what's that? For my mom? And she would go, I'm not
She
here.
didn't even know who it is.
Yeah, she'd be like, and if you were like, yeah, 1 second, she'd be so upset. And if you go, it's LeeAnn's birthday, she'll be like, okay, I'll be like, Why don't you, like, your guys are friends?
Yeah.
She'll be like, I don't know what to say. So, no, like, so what happens is you have to contact her.
Yeah.
You have to show her that you're interested. You have to reach out to her. You have to text. You have to.
Right.
You pick up her phone, and it'll be like 58,000 emails.
Yeah, he's
and I'm
the
like,
same. Yeah.
And they're unread.
Yeah, he's the same.
The mailbox.
Exactly.
200 voicemails unplayed.
Yeah, same.
Text messages. 600. I'm like, Mom, what's going on?
I couldn't live like that.
And she's like, I just, like basically it's an avoidance thing.
It's anxiety producing for some reason.
There you go. That's what it is. It produces anxiety. For them.
Does. It does for Bert. I mean, Bert has anxiety disorders all over him. So for whatever reason, he has to look at that stuff in a safe place, right? And I don't know why it's unsafe sometimes, but it is. I don't know. I think he has a little bit of social anxiety, as much as that seems unrealistic, because he like lays his whole life out in front of the world.
Yeah.
But that's very different than having an intimate relationship with someone.
Definitely.
That's two totally different things.
It can be overwhelming to field calls and all that stuff. I mean, everyone's felt like there's a lot to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like for people that have anxiety, it probably really ramps it up.
It shuts him down, really.
To have to do all those
Yes.
things.
He'll shut him down, like, to the point where he'll have to go take a nap. And I'm like, dude, it's 4 phone call. I mean, 15 minutes and you'd be out of it.
Christina does this thing where, like, she has a cutoff. Like, so in other words, I might go home today and then, more emails, more calls, this idea, this thing. And then it's like a call comes in. Hey, can you look over this document and get back to us? Well, if it's 6:30, I'll be like, hey, we should look. She'll be like, look, it's evening now. Can we do this in the morning?
Right.
And I'll be like, well, I just want to do it now because it came in and I can do it now.
Right.
She's like, she doesn't work like that.
Right,
She's like, it's too late.
Yeah, he's like that too.
It's like, we got to do it tomorrow. I'm like, why are we doing it tomorrow? Like, it's here now.
He's very much like that too. We were doing it when he was doing his last special. For whatever reason, edits would come in late at night and they need a really quick turnaround. And he'd go, I just can't do it. I can't do it.
I got to do it later.
So I'd end up watching the edit and saying, here's the problems I think you're going to have with it. And take a look at these minutes, markers. And he would look at them when he was ready. But I was like, they need to know someone's looked at it. I mean, they're asking for this shit. You can't just be like, oh, I gotta whatever. Yeah. That's too anxiety producing for me. Like, talk about the two different personalities.
That's so true.
If someone sends me an email, can you take a look at this at 6:30? I'm like, fuck yeah, let's get it off my plate.
Exactly. I'm the same way.
Off my plate is
now,
much better.
Now, the flip of this is that Christina loves to do shit in, like, as soon as she wakes up. Yeah. So, like, in the morning, she's like all system, like, likes to work like right after waking up.
Right.
And I'm like a slow riser.
Oh, interesting.
So then she'll be like, can we do this now? I'm like, can I sit up? I'm like still asleep.
That's funny.
So I like to get, like, moving a little bit before I tackle something in the morning, right?
Right.
But no, she's
on it.
On it.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got something else to show you.
You do? I'm so surprised.
Did we play number 4? Yes. We did. Okay, hold on. I got some stuff for you here. Oh yeah, I heard you do one of his tells. First of all, do you know that he mispronounces all these words?
Oh, like nightmare?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Why does he do that?
'Cause he's weird.
Okay.
I have no idea. You know how many times I've said is spelled M-A-R-E, mare.
And he's like, it's mirror.
It's mirror. It's nightmare.
He's been doing this Ben Affleck.
Oh, Ben Affleck forever.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's Affleck. He's like, no, you're thinking of the insurance company.
No.
I'm like, no, I'm not.
I don't understand why he does that.
Okay.
It's a quirk.
But he really leaned into 100%.
What?
100%. 100%.
100%.
100%.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
A lot.
It's 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it became like
hyperbole. 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Everything is 100%.
Everything. 100%.
100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. Hold on, hear me out. 100%. 100%.
It's like every show, like 10 times.
Yeah.
Like, 100%.
Yeah.
He does speak in hyperbole.
100%. He sleeps in hyperbole. He's 100% hyperbole. You should parent with that.
Yeah.
It's not super fun.
No. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, we did it. Okay. So Another disgusting thing.
Oh, God.
This one's quick.
Okay.
But it's clip 3, and it kind of shows you, like, you know, just something maybe you've missed before that's gross. You know what I mean?
I'll see if I've missed it or if I just choose to ignore it.
I just realized this is a catch rag I have in my pocket.
A catch rag?
Yeah.
What's a catch rag?
I here feel these little hard spots all over it.
Oh, it's an old hanky.
Yeah.
Pretty gross.
Yeah.
That's pretty gross. I
That
did
he's-
not
that
know
he's
he.
jizzed in.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
that's
no,
that was the
no,
hard spots.
I did not know. I thought it was boogers.
No, it's jizz.
Fancy. That's disgusting. But I guess if he's using it on himself, who cares?
Yeah, it's weird to bring it out, I think.
Well, here, yeah, and I guess so.
Yeah.
Good
No,
point. Good point. Excellent point.
So, okay. All right, we're going to end on that thing. You know, I've been paying attention to what I've been eating a lot more lately and really trying to avoid things that will make my diarrhea really, explode. But I got to tell you, once I sit down and I make brown, I still want high pressure hoses to clean my hole. And Tushy really does that for me. With Tushy, you get just an amazing experience of all the chocolate being washed off between your cheeks. And you use 80% less toilet paper. Think about that. That really is environmentally friendly. It's free shipping. Get rid of your toilet paper or just keep a little bit of it and treat your butt right with a Tushy. You get your hole nice and clean. You don't have to smush caca all over yourself. It's amazing, and it starts at just $79. So go to hellotushy.com/bears and get 10% off your order. That's hellotushy.com/bears. Get 10% off your order and keep your hole clean. How great is it that football is back, man? I love it. Week 1's over, but there's no better place to get in on all the action than DraftKings, the leader in one-day fantasy sports. To add to this week's excitement, DraftKings has millions of dollars in total prizes up for grabs. If you haven't tried DraftKings yet, head to the App Store now because you don't want to miss this. Draft your lineup now and feel the sweat like never before. Every run, pass, and catch means more with DraftKings. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. They've paid out billions in prizes since 2012. Download the DraftKings app now and use code BEARS. For a limited time, new users can get a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes this week. Don't miss out on the Week 2 action. Enter code BEARS to get a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes with your first deposit. That's code BEARS. Only at DraftKings. Make it rain. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. So we were talking about parenting before.
Yeah.
So tell the audience, tell all of us, what type of dad is he? Aside from the patriarchy, like he is a sweet guy.
Yes, he's very sweet. Because he and I are very different people from very different backgrounds.
Yes, he and I is another thing we connect on, I think.
Similar.
Similar upbringing.
Yes.
We have like old school white guy dads with like good jobs.
Yep.
We both have 2 sisters.
Yep.
We both have Catholic upbringings.
Both from Florida.
Both from Florida. But like it's a thing where like when you're from a certain type of family, you definitely identify with somebody like that.
Completely, yeah. And Push and I are similar.
Yeah.
Very similar backgrounds.
That's
also,
true.
Of brokenness and bullshit. So, what was the question again? I forgot.
I was like, we were talking about what kind of parent, like the type of parent.
So he sees things in the kids I don't see. So that's great to have in a partner because, you only have your own perspective and your own point of view. So especially lately, now that we have teenagers, I find that he's bringing things to my attention that I'm completely missing.
Really?
And perhaps it's because he was home so much in COVID, and before it was like me or nothing, pretty much. But I've really appreciated him as a parent. That's, again, one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is I don't know how much he cares. That's not true. His first agenda, I feel sometimes, is that he is heard and understood and complied with, instead of hey, this kid is actually a kid and learning something. So, for instance, last night we found out that another family of ours' son had done something really crazy, which I can't talk about, but done something really crazy, and that Georgia knew about it, that he confided in her about it. And Bert was on the phone with me. He was like, I'm going to call her and I'm going to tell her the next time something like this happens, she needs to say this and she needs to say this and she needs to say this. I said, why don't you call her? That sounds so like punitive without even finding out. Maybe she already said all those things.
Right.
So why don't you call her and go, hey, I heard you knew about this. Well, what did you do when he told you?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, that's bullshit. I'm the parent. I'm the one that calls and says how this needs to go down. And I went, I think for a 16-year-old, that's not really going to be received very well.
Yeah.
So he luckily wasn't home, because when he's home, he'll just march in there and rah, 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 and then Georgia will go, I don't know what the fuck he just said, because it was not okay. So this time, this is what she does.
Really?
She'll come out to me and go, what's up with him? And I'll have to decipher.
After he like rants and raves?
Yeah. And then I'll decipher what just happened, and she'll go, oh, no problem. But I'm not going to do it when he presents it like that. So, and some of it is just like a child who he doesn't think about how his presentation is received. He just needs the presentation to happen how he needs it to happen, so that he feels validated somehow. So, I mean, this happens in our relationship too, where I have to listen to him have this hullabaloo, and at the end of it, I'll go, let me see if I understand what you're saying. Is it blah, blah, blah? And he'll go, yeah. And I'll go, got it. So I'm just going to ignore all this hullabaloo because it's just you.
So that's your skill set.
Needing to be upset.
You can see through all the noise to get right to the,
Yeah. So this is what you're trying to tell me. Got it. Yeah. And I don't take any of the other stuff personally, because it's not about me.
But see, that's probably what a lot of people would struggle with, right?
Yeah, I'm absolutely with him.
Yeah.
Because everything is personal to him.
Yeah.
And I take almost nothing personally, because I just go, well, if I made a mistake, then I'll just apologize.
He and Nadav, they had like worked out they had like almost like a therapy session on this show. They did? Yeah. It's pretty great.
Wait, what was wrong?
So what happened was, I mean, and this is funny, like we were doing the show, and I think I was like, I got to take a shit. So I got up and I walked out, which I did. I left. I'll go back in a few minutes. So they're on the show, and at this particular time, in this moment, Nadav goes, like, well, put your headphones on so you can hear this thing. Bert puts them on. He goes, why would you talk to me like that? And he's like, what? And he goes, you said put your fucking headphones on. And like, I'm not going to respond well. He goes, I didn't say that. He goes, see, that's something I need to work on. So
it is.
So what happened was, though, they ended up talking. It was actually, because I didn't even,
I
wasn't present for it. I walked back in and then I watched it later. But he was like, they talked it out, and basically Nadav was like, I feel like, when we're butting heads on a lot of these things, it's like you think something's being said.
That's right.
And Bert was like, yeah, it's true, I do.
Yeah, he does.
And he goes, I think that you're talking to me a certain way, and I don't realize till later that I'm just like putting that in my own head.
That's right.
And they like worked it out.
That's good. That's good that you worked it out. But that is a big problem for him. When he gets triggered or he feels like something's emotional for him, he hears it the way he hears it, not the way it was said. He will put words, like there was one time early in our marriage where I was like, I'm really upset with you about this. And then he talked to you about it. And he goes, he said something back and he goes, but you said that you wanted a divorce. And I went, I never said that, have never, will never say that. What I said was, I'm really upset with you and need to talk to you about it. Verbatim. That's what I said. And he heard she's leaving.
Right.
She's leaving. And I'm like, that wasn't in my stratosphere. But I've got to be able to say, hey, dude, you upset me. And I need to talk to you about it. So I just grew a really thick skin and went, well, then he's just making things up.
Yeah.
So I just need to find what's really going on. Because the making things up is like a child where he's tantruming through his feelings.
Yeah.
Instead of just going, hey, what are my feelings? So with Georgia, he parents with that situation where the friend called Georgia and confided in her, and he was going, I'm going to call her and tell her.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't here, he took a minute. And then I was just in the house cleaning the house or something, and I heard he and Georgia having the best conversation ever because he took my advice.
Yeah.
He's like, what happened? How'd that go down?
Yeah.
And I was like, see what happens when you just freaking don't be the patriarchy?
Yeah.
Come in and go, I need to have a talk. He literally does this body stance. So, and he'll look up in a fight like I'm supposed to look up at. It's the most bizarre behavior where I go, this is literally what a 4-year-old does on a playground.
Did the boy, did he like assault an unconscious girl or something?
No.
Okay. It's nothing like that.
Nothing that crafty.
Okay.
It was pretty crafty.
It was crafty?
For our...
Will you tell me off mic later?
I'll tell you off mic, yeah.
Okay.
It was pretty impressive. I was super impressed.
Wow.
But
sounds like a crime.
I was super impressed because I was thinking about what I was doing at that age, and I was like, "Fucking right on, dude.
Yeah.
You're just being a regular teenager."
Yeah,
but you know, we're in a pretty bubbled neighborhood where people are like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "He was kind of what happens at that age." So.
Well, there's a parenting clip we have here. Talking about, I think one of the girls. Here it is. Look, by the way, this is like early on our show.
Yeah.
He looks so much better now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he does look. Yeah.
He looks bloated right there.
Yeah.
We went to the monkey forest. I told Isla the monkeys are going to want to fuck her because she's on her period. Isla goes in, she's on her period, and I go, Isla, be careful, man. They can sniff that out. She's like, what? And I go, yeah, the monkeys can smell your vajay, and they're going to want to fuck you, so be careful. And if a monkey starts fucking her, I said, I'm going to videotape the whole thing.
Yes.
And someone else needs to get help.
So.
He doesn't use the word fuck.
No, not like that.
He doesn't use the word fuck at all. Like with her and
for
that.
The act
He'll
of
say,
sex. Yeah.
But he'll say that. Yeah, he said that.
So he does say crazy shit.
Yes, he does. And most of the time the girls don't believe him.
Yeah.
Right? But every once in a while, Isla's super gullible.
Yeah.
So she will believe a lot more. Georgia doesn't believe anything he says. Just about. But Isla.
That's so
Yeah,
funny.
I remember that moment.
Yeah, that's funny. You're talking about like the making stuff up and everything. Like, because it also applies to comedy, you know, because we'll be like, we've hung out, and this is like 10 years ago. We're in the car driving. I tell him something, he starts laughing, and then he's telling it back to me with added things. And I'm like, no, I didn't say that. He goes, I know, but that's how I hear it. And I was like, what? He goes, I mean, that's how I hear it in my head, and I think it makes the story better.
And it's way better.
And I'm
It's
like,
way better.
but that's not what I'm saying.
It's inaccurate.
He goes, that's how you should say it. And I go, what are you talking about?
That happens to me all the time. He won't let me tell any stories, ever. Because he'll go, she's going to fuck this one up. Let me tell it. And I'll go, if you want to know the real story, I'll tell you when he's done.
Yeah.
So you can hear all the added jazz.
Yeah.
And then if you want to know what actually happened, I'll tell you what actually happened.
Yeah.
I'm not a bad storyteller, but I am not a fantastical storyteller. He makes everything is fantastical or catastrophic.
It's like a supernatural event when he tells a story. Yes.
It's either fantastical or catastrophic.
That's true.
And his day-to-day life is that.
There's like 5,000 people there, and this guy came up to me, and he was like, I'll beat you over the head with this. And you're like, wait, someone said that to you? Well, no, but the guy looked at me weird. I'm like, oh, okay. Somebody looked at you weird.
2 cars over. But whatever.
He's like, he threatened me, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I almost died. And you're like, really?
Yeah. No, every story, you're right. Like, what is it?
Fantastical
or catastrophic? Yeah.
He's no middle.
They're only, I wonder where, there's got to be an origin of why it's that. You know what I mean? Like,
there has to be. That's a really good question. The catastrophe piece, I think, is tied into his anxiety. But I don't know what the fantastical piece is. If he doesn't feel enough.
I think it's, I think it's like the rush, like, because everybody kind of experiences the idea of like, being the first to share news, right? And seeing people, captivating people's attention. Yeah. And like, I think there's a way where like, in his style of telling a story, where he must have exaggerated early on, telling story pieces to people and seeing their reactions. And then it like lit something up in him.
Probably.
Right? That was like,
yeah, probably.
You got to like put some sweetener on top of that to make it even more fantastical.
Well, now that you say that, I think it probably is twofold. One is probably something about self-esteem, not feeling enough just as a normal person, regular person. But his mother, has 8 brothers.
His mother has 8 brothers?
His mother has 8 brothers.
Fuck.
She's the second oldest. So he had all these uncles that were younger, and they are really entertaining people, like musical, out there. Nobody's like a joke teller, but they're definitely storytellers, one-uppers.
Yeah.
Really entertaining family. And
Yeah.
Gigi, his mother, she was like studied musical theater. She's a really musical, very out there performance type person.
Yeah.
So I would imagine to grow up in that family culture and to see all these uncles, and you always look up to your uncles.
Yeah.
Being this like, oh, Uncle Jimmy plays the banjo and watch this, and it's all this kind of, maybe some of it came from that.
Maybe it came from that. Yeah. I mean,
maybe. And I know they did that in the fraternity. They were always one-upping each other in these stupid
imagine what
stories.
he was like in the fraternity?
No.
Seen the
Pass.
photos and everything.
Pass.
You wouldn't have dated
With
that
the
guy.
Eddie Vedder haircut?
Yeah.
No.
Would you have dated that? No.
No, not even kind of.
He's told the story about, like, so.
He wouldn't have dated me either, by the way.
No?
No.
What were you like back then?
I was not hot enough for him.
Oh.
All his girlfriends were like the hot babes.
Oh,
like
really?
The hot babes. And I just wasn't a hot babe. I was pretty and whatever. I wasn't ugly, but I wasn't that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
sure.
wasn't the like in the string bikini.
That's
hot
what he was
babe.
dating.
Yeah, they were hot babes.
Hot
They're
babes.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Hot babes. So no, he wouldn't have given me the time of day.
I just wonder what the relationship was like. You know what I mean? Like with him and the hot babes, like back then.
Well, I think that he cast a wide wake. And if you
Yeah.
want to go to every party,
That's
your boyfriend.
Yeah. That's
And,
true.
He's an eat, sleep, drink, fuck dude. That's what he does. That's his modus operandi. Eat, sleep, drink, fuck. So if she could handle any of those, she'd probably just fine. I don't think he was looking for deep conversations at 27, 24.
I like how you threw in 27.
Well, that's when he
because
graduated
with
college.
Most people are like 27. No, we're talking about college. Like,
Yeah.
no, that was college.
Last year.
Yeah.
27. Takes what it takes.
What year did he? Like, how old was he when he went to college?
I don't fucking know. Well, he's got a November birthday, and his mom held him a year.
Back. Okay.
So he was old when he graduated.
So he probably graduated high school at 19 or something.
Well,
right?
he was almost 19.
Okay.
Right? He was 18 when he graduated high school, and early in his freshman year of college turned 19.
Right.
Whereas I
Okay.
started college at 17.
Yeah.
And
but he should have been out by 23, 24.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should
Let the good times roll.
27. And knowing, like, I know a little bit about Big Al.
Yeah.
He must have been beside himself.
Yeah.
Being like, you're doing another fucking semester at that school? Jesus.
Yeah, I heard it was, there was a lot, I think, of, there was a lot going on there during that time. I mean, Bert got like 3 college scholarships for baseball and passed on all of them. And his dad was like an Olympic alternate for the track team. Like,
What?
Yeah. His dad went to college on a track scholarship and was an Olympic alternate. I mean, like super athlete. So he raised this boy who was Brett Radke's catcher all growing up. And Brett Radke went pro.
Yeah.
And of course he had these 3 big college scholarships, and he was like, yeah, I don't want to play ball every day. I just want to party. And so I think from right there, Al Kreischer was like, whoosh, what the fuck? Who is
Where
this
did he
child?
have offers to play baseball?
Citadel, Duke, and FSU.
Wait, he turned down the scholarship offer
Yeah, he
to
did.
FSU to play baseball.
Yeah. He did.
And Duke.
And Duke, yeah. And Citadel.
He would not have lasted 7 years at Duke. It was a good thing it was
Oh,
forced.
no. He wouldn't have. No. He just went there. And I think he actually went to a couple practices, maybe.
Really?
And went, I think. I didn't get until I
FSU
was
has a
31.
really good baseball program.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm from Georgia.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, yeah, he was like, yeah, I don't want to do this every day. And his dad was, I think therein started not a great path for him and his dad in college. I think his
Yeah.
dad was very frustrated. And his dad at one point was like, you have to get a job. So he started working and he got fired, and then he started working again and he got fired again. He just kept getting fired.
Well, yeah, he had. I mean, one of my favorite stories of his is about getting fired from like the Barnes and Noble because they have the security camera. He's doing what, push-ups or something in the
Naked
naked
in the
push-ups
basement.
Yeah,
So he wouldn't get his clothes sweaty.
yeah. And
Yeah.
they're like, "What are you doing down there?" He's like, "Oh, just stacking books."
Yeah. Just taking care of
And they're
business.
like, "You know, we have a camera down
Whatever.
there." They're like, "Oh,
Oops.
oopsie daisy." Yeah, we're gonna play tennis soon.
You are?
Yeah,
That's good. He's a really good tennis player.
he said. Yeah.
No, I think he actually is. That's what's That's one of the things that's amazing to me is he is a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
As much as he talks about the Mickey Mantle gene shit.
Yeah.
No. There's actually, I have never, ever witnessed him not be able to do something well.
Yeah.
Athletically.
Nothing.
I mean, like wakeboarding for the first time, boom, up. And you're like, he just has that genetic makeup.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been playing tennis since he was like 7.
Yeah.
Or something.
We've been talking about it.
You play tennis your whole life too?
I mean, I stopped for a long time. I played as a kid, like a lot, played in tournaments and then I stopped. And then we played like randomly over the years, my cousin, Christine and I a few times. But then recently I started taking lessons again. So when I told him that, it completely set him off. He's like, I'm going to go take a lesson tomorrow. He did. Yeah, I know.
He was really fired up about it.
Yeah, I could tell.
He loved playing tennis.
Tennis is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went yesterday.
And you guys will have a blast.
I think so.
You'll have a blast.
I think we're gonna shoot it.
You should, because it's gonna be funny.
It'll be funny. And we'll have mics, so we'll be able to talk shit. Yeah. 2 bears, 1 net. Yep. We'll have a small wager going. Don't worry. Nothing significant. Well, we finally get to the most fun part. Oh, God. It's the batch at number 6, we like to call it. And that is diving deep into your sex life. Oh, in mine with him? Yes. Okay. Because he talks about it all the time. He talks about it, and he also talks about trading up. So which do you believe? He's not trading anything. I know he's not.
But she said, just so you know, what you do that pleases your girlfriend doesn't please me. I heard that, and I had never been more solid in not leaving my relationship in that moment. I was like, I will never leave. Like LeeAnn, because I can make LeeAnn come, but that's all I can do. Lee, I did last night. We had sex last night, and I said to LeeAnn, I said, thank you. I banged it out. You did. Oh. You really got it. But he thinks that every time. Yeah. She can get it, and she got it. There was a whole interview on, a whole segment on female orgasms, and it was talking about how different, like, it was just a fucking 30 minutes on orgasms, and then LeeAnn just hit the TV. We were done watching. She goes, so what do you want to do? I was like, I don't know. What do you want to do? She goes, I say we go into the bedroom. And I was like, done, son. And I brought the fucking thunder. Did you really? I sincerely
Fantastical?
did.
Yeah. Catastrophic.
I kissed her first.
That's
nice.
Which
I normally don't do. I just usually put in work. So one day I'm watching Cat House, that show in Vegas.
Yeah.
This girl, one of the girls is teaching a guy how to eat pussy. And then I thought, this is silly. I'm going to try this tonight. And just hear LeeAnn go, what the fuck are you doing? And that night, it was actually during the day. It was during the day, the next day. I go down on LeeAnn, and she just goes, what are you doing? And I was like, huh? And now I'm like going, like, trying to remember all the shit. She said, gentle chaos, fucking like a hurricane, but not too hard at the front. And then build to the, and I start doing the things that she had said in the thing. And LeeAnn, I remember she had an orgasm, and she went, oh, fuck. And I went, what? Like, I'd never heard LeeAnn curse even. I'm like, what? And she goes, what the fuck was that? And I was like, I don't know. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, first of all.
Great lover.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
First of all, a lot of people, my family in Georgia watch this show.
Oh, good.
So thanks for that. But no,
Hi, guys.
My grandmother saw this show.
She did?
She did.
She saw that show?
No, I don't know one of them.
She's gonna watch this one.
And I'll tell you this.
Check it out, guys. I never take it off. My Whoop. I'd like to thank Whoop. We know a lot about a lot. We know 2020 has been a tough year. We know we want to live healthier lifestyles, but we don't know a lot about ourselves or how our behavior impacts us. And this thing has given me so much insight to get to know myself deeper, how my body is being strained, how I'm recovering, when I should press it, when I should rest it. It's incredible, the amount of insight that I have. It knows automatically, like, what activity I've done. It knows how my heart's resting. It knows how I'm breathing when I sleep. It knows when I'm in deep sleep. It's incredible. I love tracking all of that. It is the best next level fitness tracker I've used. For our listeners, Whoop is offering 15% off with the code BEARS at checkout. Go to whoop.com/bears WHOOP.com. Enter BEARS at checkout to save 15%. Get to know yourself on a deeper level. Unlock yourself with Whoop.
I believe that having a good, strong sex life when you're married is super important.
I believe you're correct.
In putting this part of my life open to the world, I'm actually okay with.
Oh, good.
Because I want to say that because people are like, oh my God, how do you let him talk to you about you like that? But don't you have sex with your spouse?
Yes.
I mean, yeah. You're not in my bedroom. You don't know exactly what's going on. He's just saying we have really good sex.
Right.
So what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
We do. We have really good sex.
It's just endlessly amusing to hear him talk about a lot of topics, and especially
his
sex.
heroic antics.
Yeah, of course.
He believes him to be a hero.
Put it in there. Enough. She got it.
Which really, he's like, hey, babe. Do you want to maybe? That's what really happens.
That's how Bert really is. Are you feeling it?
What do you think? He's very not this patriarch guy.
Yeah.
He's not that at all.
Hands on the hips.
Yeah, no.
Do you feel like getting it?
I mean, from time to time, he'll say something where I go, for real? You just said that to me? The answer is absolutely no.
Yeah.
He'll just go, hey, how about a blowjob? Like he's saying, hey, how about a Diet Coke?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
The answer is no.
Right. How about a blowjob?
How about a blowjob? Yeah.
Yeah. Is this him talking to her? Yeah.
I love you too.
All right, bye. Now that woman can suck a dick.
But I've talked about that openly too. I talked about it with Push, where I read a book about it.
About fellatio?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was written by a gay man about how to give good blowjobs because men know how to do it to men because men know what they like.
Could you give her a copy?
I told her about it.
Oh, really?
He goes.
Could you write it down? Title?
It's on my website if anybody wants it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a link to it because I think.
When did you read it?
I read it when he and I were first dating.
Really?
Yeah. I did because I was like, what's your goal in sex, right? My goal is to feel good, but to also make sure he feels good.
Right.
And it's not fair if I always get my rocks off and he is like, well, it was great. I mean, it was okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't enjoy giving a blowjob, but it is something he enjoys.
Right.
So I'd like to do it well so it, A, gets over fast. And B is something that he enjoys, right?
Yeah, of course.
So if you suck at it, it's 45 minutes long. If you do it fast, and it's pretty fast.
Yeah.
If you do a good job, so.
Well, good for you.
I mean,
and I think that's actually
that's
a very
my, perspective.
I think that's a very healthy perspective that shouldn't be like it should be more widely, talked about and expressed and accepted.
Because it's part of human nature.
Yeah.
This is if you're married, especially. You are supposed to be having sex to have a healthy relationship.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like money. No one ever talks about money. And you go, well, no wonder half the people don't know what to do with money.
Very good point.
Because they don't talk about it.
Very good
it's
point.
Like so taboo. And it's the same with sex, right?
Yes.
How are you supposed to know if your sex life is good if you don't talk to your partner about it?
I'm so happy that my wife just likes having sex and wants to have sex. I feel like because we have friends. I have a friend who is in this marriage where like we've talked and he's like, yeah, we haven't had sex in like months.
Really?
Yes. And I'm like, I'm not an expert, but I'm sitting there doing I'm like, are you expressing that? And he's like, yep. And it just gets shut down.
That's so sad.
Of course it is. That's my point. Is
Yeah.
like it's that's sad. So then he's like, how about you? I'm like, no, we had sex a few times this week. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, that's a distant memory for him.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Well, it's an indicator something's wrong, I think.
Of course.
Something's wrong.
But I mean, it's more to your point of like, doing it, talking about it. I mean, obviously we make a lot of jokes, but I mean, I think it's a much healthier perspective.
Totally.
And I felt that way also about money too, about how, especially like when you don't have money and you meet people with money, I was always curious.
Me too, yeah.
I would always ask a lot of questions.
Me too.
And sometimes it would get pointed out. They're like, why are you asking all these questions? Like,
because
I
I'm
was like,
curious.
Yeah, because I want to know.
Totally.
Yeah.
Curiosity is the root of change.
Yeah.
If you can be curious about something, you can make a change. If you're not curious about it, nothing's going to happen. So, I mean, when people hear all these outrageous clips that all these claims he makes, I feel like it normalizes other people's shit.
Yeah.
You know, where you go, my husband does that too, and it embarrasses me, and I get, maybe this is more normal than I think.
You have a little hint of Bert in your life.
Yes.
You know, and then you go, oh, okay.
Okay.
What's
a
the
hint
next
is all
one?
you need.
That's all you need. You don't need to go full Bert. Like if she died, you got hit by a bus or something.
Keep going. Nope. Don't need to explain more. I heard you.
Okay,
I heard you the
so
first
she's
time.
just gone.
She's gone. Bus accident. Motorcycle hits her.
Right.
Motorcycle hits her, and I get to reconstruct her body. Different story. Bus hits her. She's dead. Pull the plug.
She's dead, and the bus.
Your wife's been hit by a come on motorcycle.
Shit.
Her body flies off a cliff. It's run over by a couple trucks. All right, she's totally dead.
An elephant steps on her chest.
Yes, it's totally dead.
Yeah.
You're out there again. Do you think you're making chicks come left and right? Like
Initially, I was like, like, wait till you see what Captain Tingles brings your way.
yes.
And now I know that's not the fact.
No. He is so, he has this persona
Yeah.
that he believes, but he doesn't really believe it.
Yeah.
He presents it, right? He's terrified of women. Like when we first started dating, he was fucking terrified of women.
Really?
100%. Thank you. 100%.
100%.
He's terrified of them.
I believe that. I believe that because I've been around him, and he actually, I think, reverts into like a sweet kid around women.
He does with me. When he was terrified of me also. And he was also very uncomfortable with how much he liked me from day one. He didn't know what to do with it. And it was just oozing out of his body. And I kept going, I get it. This is okay. Actually, I'm good with this. You're good, but it's not normal. It's not like a normal guy thing.
Yeah.
So I think he feels uncomfortable with that sometimes too. So he talks all this trash, and it's just trash. It's not true.
You know to ignore it though.
Completely.
But see, like that's the thing is because I feel like most women that I just think I think a lot would not be able to ignore the noise.
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ignore a lot of his noise.
Yeah.
Because a lot of his noise, like this kind of talking, makes him feel so good about himself. And okay, if I eat an ice cream, it makes me feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Is he gonna be like all over me about it?
Right.
Probably not.
Right.
So whatever. It's not hurting anybody.
Just
it doesn't
saying.
hurt me.
That's
if it
important.
hurt me,
That's important.
it would be different.
So that's
it
important, I
doesn't.
think, probably to an audience because there's a lot of people who listen or watch this show and be like, with both of us, they'll be like, that's some crazy shit you said about whoever, your spouse.
Yeah.
But it's not hurting you. It
Doesn't hurt me because it's not true.
Yeah.
The thing about when he first started telling jokes about me on stage, this is what I said. If it's well written, you can do it. And I don't care what anybody thinks because you and I know what's the truth.
Right.
So no matter what is said on stage, it's said on stage for entertainment.
Yeah.
This is entertainment.
It is.
This is entertainment. And I mean it in the most flattering way. This is wonderful entertainment to listen to a podcast and hear you two bullshit about all the things you bullshit about. Because guess what two guys do when they get together? They fucking bullshit and tell tall tales about the sex they had last night with their wife.
Yeah.
So that's what this is.
Yeah.
So if anybody can't figure that out, then, that's my perspective.
I stuffed it in Christina's mouth the other day.
You did?
Yeah. So hard.
Did she bite?
She gagged.
I mean, really far then.
I mean, it was really far. She was like, oh,
wow.
She couldn't talk. Yeah. She couldn't breathe. It was great. What's this one?
I fucked LeeAnn. So good last night.
Please tell me.
Did we start?
Yep. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready now.
Does he ever come in and go, I had the lamest sex ever?
No.
No, yeah. No,
That doesn't exist.
Fantastical.
Yeah.
Or catastrophic.
That doesn't exist for him.
See? Yeah.
What'd you do?
It was awesome. It was awesome. We did this thing where it's like imagine if you're both sitting in a chair, okay? So imagine you're both sitting in a chair. So these are your legs, right? Then you do this. Or like this.
That's how you had sex.
He doesn't even remember.
It was
He can't
awesome.
even accurately describe it.
No. So you mean it wasn't like this?
I don't know what he's talking about.
In a chair, and you go like this?
No, I haven't had sex in a chair since I was about 25. I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know. I just, by the way, half the things when he's like trying to describe something and he's terrible at it, I just go like, no, I get what you're saying. And I don't.
See, you have the patience I have.
Yeah.
You allow him to have his hyperbole bullshit.
Yes.
And just roll with it.
Well, that's the thing I was thinking about because, people will hit me up about our friendship. And I actually thought about that the thing that I have with him, and I think it goes both ways, and it's probably what you have as well with him, is that we fully accept each other the way that we are.
Yes, yes, that's true.
So we just like, all my quirks and everything, he just like, that's you. Like he just knows me and goes with it. And it's the same way. So half the crazy shit, whatever it is, whether it's the exaggerating or the impulse control, or that, just like, that's who he is.
That's right. And I try to enjoy him. Right.
Yeah.
To not try and control him or change him. I try to enjoy him as exactly who he is because, I grew up with a parent much like Push who did not enjoy me and did not want to see who I really was. Wasn't interested in who I really was. Wanted me to fit in a box. And I think women in particular, not to be hard on my sex, but I think women in particular need men to fit in a certain box. And once they start spilling out of the box here or there with picking their nose or whatever, that super dude, they get really unnerved about it instead of going, well, he's a dude.
Yeah.
Dudes do stuff women don't do. Women do stuff dudes don't do. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, half the shit Bert does is really gross, male or female, but...
Yeah. All animals.
Yeah. Any species, pretty much. There's one or two I could think of that wouldn't mind it. But, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people can't find a way to enjoy everybody.
Yeah, you can.
Everybody.
It goes back to perspective, though.
Yeah, it does.
You can change that, That's actually something you can change. Is there one more? Is there one more thing?
Also means she's skinny now. She's always been skinny. She's always been attractive. Are we recording now? Good. Oh, I'm so glad. She's skinny now. And so like her body looks awesome. Oh, it's fucking great.
Well, there you go. Big compliment to end it. Yeah.
It's very sweet.
Yeah.
I am skinny now.
I know. You look great.
I feel really great.
Good. That's good.
Yeah.
You put work into it, though.
I put work.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, I love it. I wish he would do the same for himself. So he could feel that way about himself. Yeah. Because he's in this cycle, man. I tell him this all the time. Your cycle is such self-hatred about his body.
Yeah.
And I
identify with that. What I tell him, well, here's the thing. I identify incredibly with it. The difference is because, like, mine's not healthy self-talk, but because his is worse, meaning more so and on display, it makes me recognize that it's not healthy. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So, like, I'm doing the same thing to myself.
Yeah, but not as bad.
But his is worse.
Yeah.
So then I go, man, I shouldn't do that. And then it makes me go, you shouldn't do that because I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm seeing my own behavior in you.
Right.
But yours is even worse.
Right.
So
you're a mirror for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a similar build and similar probably, impulses. I mean, a little different, but like, well, I don't have to, I'm not into like the drinking as much.
No.
But I mean, I definitely with food and, we both have like, problems with it, I guess, with like, hey man, fucking eating crazy or working out. We both work out, but when I hear him talk to himself, I'll be like, fuck, man.
Yeah. It breaks my heart a little bit because I go, well, for one, you're choosing this, so you need to just accept it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because you are choosing this over and over again and then beating yourself up and then re-choosing it and then beating yourself up.
It's a cycle.
So then if you're going to choose it, then at least enjoy it.
Enjoy it, yeah.
And if you're tired of choosing it, there are so many ways to choose something else.
Yeah.
But you don't want to do either. You just want to keep in this punitive cycle, and it's
a familiar cycle, though.
It is familiar, as well as something he witnessed growing up a lot, I think, in his family. That's his dad has always struggled with his weight, and he's very punitive with himself, so he learned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw his dad, though, in that. I told him, because he was saying something about his dad, and I was like, hey, I saw that clip of your dad at your show take his shirt off on stage with you. I thought he looked great.
He looks great. Yeah. He's in great shape now.
He's taking care of himself.
Yes, he is. He's doing a great job. Yeah. He is.
So wait, now going back to what you started with here, because you passed out and you fell and all this stuff. So how are you going to take care of yourself moving forward so this doesn't happen?
Well, I don't know how deep you want to go into the psychology of why that happened, but I am a 98% other focused based on some like psychological testing I did, which is not healthy.
Not focused on yourself at all.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to try to focus on myself more. It's a really hard thing to fix because the perpetual motion machine that I find myself on from day to day, the never-ending to-do list, and I don't mean like, wash the dog to-do list. I do a lot for Bert also.
Of course.
And I have my own podcast, and I have 2 teenagers, and I'm remodeling 2 houses. So my perpetual never-ending to-do list is I don't rest until there's nothing on it, which is impossible.
Right.
But that's a survival mechanism.
That's not sustainable, though.
It's not sustainable.
So how do you propose making it sustainable?
So what I started doing since I fell is to say, you need to complete 2 things on the list today. Just 2. And if there's something urgent, like you said earlier, this email came in at 6:30, it won't overload me.
Right.
Because I've only done 2 things.
But you're not trying to do 20 things a day.
Right. Like I had
But you're really sticking to that.
In the 10 days,
yeah,
I've really stuck to it.
That's good.
So like I had a meeting before this and I have this and I'm not doing anything else today.
That's great.
Unless something unexpected and urgent, but I'm not pushing myself through this list because most of the deadlines for the list were my deadlines. Some of the stuff with Bert is not my deadline. So that I have to respect. But like choosing the faucets for the bathrooms, that's my deadline.
Yeah.
But I get on this like, I got to get the faucets done.
Yeah.
I got to get it done because then I have this next step and then this next step and then the dog needs to go to the groomer and then this and then this and then this. And I just tried to stop that.
Yeah.
And just go, just 2 things, LeeAnn. And if something comes up urgent or emergent, you can handle it. But I mean, the stuff we were doing from October to right before I collapsed, I remember in that meeting saying to Bert, this is not doable. Mm-hmm. Like we can't actually achieve this. And we achieved it anyway.
Yeah.
And at a cost. The collateral damage was I fell on my face and busted my face open from exhaustion. So it was, I didn't make the call to push ahead with a lot of the stuff. Bert did.
Yeah.
So perhaps next time I raise my hand and say, I'm concerned. Remember when I fell on my face?
Yeah.
Maybe this time it'll mean something different.
It's good. It's because sometimes you need the reminder. Because I'll push it too, especially when touring is going on.
Yeah.
But then it's one of those things where you just look at your other friends and you go like, they're doing it too hard.
Yeah.
And then it makes you go like, oh, this isn't. You don't need to rush through this tour.
Right.
You don't have to get it stuffed into this time period. You
right.
can take your time.
You can. It's hard. Bert always says, he says, eat shit, cast checks, which means don't just suffer through and get the money when the money comes.
Yeah.
My family says make hay while the sun shines, right?
Yeah.
So you have this opportunity to grab as many opportunities as possible.
Yeah.
And sometimes that window is small. So his perspective is during this window, I'm going to grab as many as I can. And unfortunately, for my very blue collar background, I have that same perspective. Mm-hmm. So we're maybe not a great combination in that where we become unbalanced when so many opportunities show up and Bert says yes to all of them.
All of them, yeah.
And then I go, well, if you're saying yes, buddy, I'm hitching this trailer up to this wagon and we are going. Let's go. Mm. And it was just too much going on.
Yeah.
And not enough support. When COVID came, all my support for the kind of minutia of life left. The lady who cleans, my dog walker gone, the tutor for Isla gone. So then I became the dog walker and the tutor and the cleaning person and everything else that was still going on. It was just too much.
Well, I'm glad you had the realization this way.
Me too.
Not in a worse way.
It's pretty minor, all things considered,
I got to say, I think this is the best Two Bears ever. And it was nice to get in a whole bunch of words.
And you had some really good words, Tom.
Thanks. A lot of times people are like, this should be called, What is it? Bert talks, Tom listens, or
How funny. So funny. When he comes on my podcast, I'll get an email going, could you just tell him to fucking mind his own business? He has enough podcasts. I listen to him on this one and this one. I'm tired of hearing him. I'm coming to see you. And I'm like, there's no stopping him.
No, there's no.
No.
But actually, the truth is, I enjoy it. I do
I have
too. Fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I had
It
a
was
good
fun.
time. I had a good time.
Thank you.
And it was fun to, but Bert, we love you.
We love you, Bert.
Yeah.
I love you, baby doll.
I love you too, baby doll. Right.
Bert and Tom, Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call Two Bears, One Cave. No scripts, a bit of booze, amateur partology. Dirty jokes, raunchy humor, no apologies. Here's what we call Two Bears, One Cave.